Hi, welcome back. In this lesson, we will walk through how to begin building a client profile for your avatar. Your client profile is all about getting to know your prospects and how they think. This can be a tricky step without some cheat sheets and a little guidance. But once you master this step, creating client avatars will get a whole lot easier. In the next couple of slides, we'll break down the steps you can take to create a profile using research or actual client files, and to come up with information that's specific to who you will target in your marketing efforts. Imagine you have a client in your office or sitting across from you. What questions would you ask to start getting to know them a little better? If you're struggling to think of some, here are some initial questions you can ask or research about your client. Are they male or female? What do they do for a living? Do they like it? How old are they? Do they have a family? What's their lifestyle? What do they like to do in their free time? And how well do they know your topic? This will get you started asking the right questions, but we'll dig in a little deeper in the next couple of slides. Okay, now that we've asked some questions and done a little research to get some key information about our target audience, let's begin forming our avatar. We'll start with a simple fill-in-the-blank sentence that someone shared with me and that I've been using ever since. My typical customer is blank, and they're interested in blank. While you think about that statement for a minute, I'll give you an example of one of my own avatars we put together for a college planning client. And it goes like this. My typical customer is female, and she's interested in college planning for her children. Now, this may be a simple sentence, but it has a powerful impact on how we start to think of our client. Now, we can build on this sentence a little bit more and get a little bit more detailed so that we can do some additional research and ask some additional questions of our ideal client. All right, let's improve the structure of this sentence, and we'll add a little bit more and some additional details. It's always easier to start with a small sentence and then build on that foundation. And sometimes breaking it up into smaller pieces can provide a little bit better of clarity. So here's our new sentence. My typical customer is gender, working in income bracket, and is age. He lives in form of living with family. He is interested in main interest and loves to spend his free time main weekly hobby. He has been interested in main interest for time interested. Okay, so we're going to start filling in those blanks or in those brackets to kind of identify a little bit more about our client. And while you think about how you would fill in those blanks for your client avatar, I'll give you another sample from my avatar. We'll stick with my college planning client throughout the lesson just to keep things simple. So here's my updated sentence. My typical customer is female, working in a $30,000 a year job, and is 35 years old. She lives in a small home with her husband and two children who are 12 and 19. She's interested in college planning for her children and loves to spend her free time at volleyball games. She's been coaching volleyball for 5 years. So you can see how we are now learning a bit more about our ideal client, like the fact that she coaches volleyball, how much income she has, how many children she has, and we even know their ages. Of course, this is a fictional character, but that doesn't matter because there are thousands and thousands of people who fit the same criteria as my avatar, and those are the people we're going to target. We have a good start, but we still don't know how she thinks. So let's dig in a little deeper and expand our sentence a little bit further. All right, as you can see, our imaginary person is slowly becoming more personable, more human, and now we'll expand this one more time and try to bring them to life. So let's look at the expanded sentence. My typical customer is age. His name is imaginary name, and he is a calling or passion. He's been wanting to dream, frustration, goal, but doesn't know where to start. He's a good blank calling or passion, right? But could really use some help on how to skills relating to that passion. He works main source of income, so he can only work on dream on the weekends. Imaginary name lives with family, form of living, and he wants to dream, lifestyle, frustration, and objection. Okay, so I know that's a lot. We've added a lot more to the sentence, but we're going to break that down a little bit. Okay, so let's start with the first sentence. My typical customer is age. Now we're digging into some demographics in our profile as well, and this is good. So if we're identifying his age, we'll know a little bit more about him or her. All right, his name is imaginary name, and he is a calling or passion. We're giving this person a name which brings them to life. And now we're adding their passion or calling. This is what gives them a sense of purpose. And we're going to use that sense of purpose to kind of pull at their heartstrings in our messages. So now we're getting into the head of this person. He's been wanting to dream, frustration, goal, but doesn't know where to start, okay? Here is where we identify the goal or objective for this particular client, and then we're going to solve this goal or objective with our offer. All right, so moving on to the next sentence. He's good, calling, passion, but could really use some help on dream, goal, frustration. This is a good sentence, and I like to use it to remind me that some people are great at certain things and just don't know enough about other things to be great at them. And this is an essential point. We want to identify the goal, dream, or challenge that our client needs help with, and remember, they are an expert at their passion, but we're the expert at our passion or our product or service, right? And so again, while you're thinking about how this sentence could apply to your own clients, I'll give you my example. All right, here's my example. My typical customer is 35 years old. Her name is Joanna, and she's a teacher and a volleyball coach. She's been wanting to open a college fund for her children, but doesn't know where to start. She's a great coach and teacher, but could really use some help with basic financial planning skills. She works in an elementary school during the week. She can only meet about starting a college fund on the weekends. Joanna lives with her husband, who's also a teacher, in a starter home, but would like to live in a nicer home closer to her school district if they can afford it. They both love their jobs and don't have much money or free time. All right, now as you can see, I expanded on the question a little bit more by adding some additional details that I knew about my client. And this is great. You can do this too. And by asking questions like these, you have no choice but to dig deep into this person's wishes and deepest thoughts. And now if you do that same thing for your client avatars, then I want you to save it. Stick it on a wall or on your computer monitor, because this is going to be important for you going forward. This is the person you're going to be speaking with. And notice how specific you can be about your client and still have a sizable target audience. Now, the more specific you make your client avatar, the more commonalities your audience will have, and the easier it will be for you to create an irresistible offer. In the next lesson, we'll start digging into other components of the client avatar, and we'll begin with demographics, goals, and values.